So 3 years ago, I made about 3 dozen of these jack-o'-lantern boxes, and I sold them all for $25 each, and made some decent money. This year, the market is pretty much saturated. Everybody and their mother are making those pumpkin boxes now, and I see them for going as low as $10. So I am going to try making something new. So this is the idea that I came up with, and I'm calling it a coffin lantern. It's about 10 inches tall, 4.5 inches wide, and about 2.5 inches deep. It's got a little door in the back so you can put in a little flickering LED candle. I picked up this Creality Falcon 2 22 watt laser on OfferUp for $400, and that's what I'm using to make all of these coffin lanterns. I buy my MDF in 4 foot wide by 8 feet tall sheets, and then I come down into 16-inch squares that I use on the laser. This was my first prototype, and it's 12 inches tall, but I could not cut all the pieces for one lantern out of one of those 16-inch sheets. So I brought it down to 10 inches, which I can then cut all the pieces out of one sheet, and I've got enough space left in the bottom left to cut either a front or a back out of each one to maximize my yield. These are some straps that I cut off an old insulated cooler box. I'm cutting them down into 1.5 inch strips to use as a hinge for the rear door. I'm using a thick CA glue to attach the hinge to the wood. In an attempt to not completely cover my fingers with CA glue, I'm using a scrap piece of 2x4 to press down on the hinge. I cut about 18 inches off the end of a ball of twine and then shove it through one of the holes in the top to serve as a handle. I don't want the twine to slip out, so I make a slip knot, shove one end through it, and then pull it tight, and that makes a big enough knot at the end so that it won't come out of the hole. Just rinse and repeat on the other side, and then snip off the ends to clean everything up. Set the back of your coffin on your work surface with the hinge side down and place all the side pieces into the corresponding holes. I like to use the thicker CA glue for this step as it gives me more working time. Attaching the front is going to suck the first time that you do it, but as you do it more and more and more, it'll get easier. I like to lift the lantern up off the work surface at this point so it doesn't accidentally get glued down. To attach the front, I like to use the thinner CA glue, but be very careful because this is the point where you'll start to get it all over your fingers. Once the glue dries, I like to give the lantern a good coat of spray shellac. After about 15 minutes, you can give it another coat, and then after about a half hour, you can give it a third coat. Don't cheap out on this step because that MDF really soaks up that finish, and you can really tell when somebody doesn't give it enough. So this is the current setup for my laser. I open the door about a third of the way, the main garage door, and then that fan comes on and it blows all the smoke over here and out the man door. The computer is right here, which has a USB cable that goes underneath the floor and then goes up into the laser. And I've got a little fan right here that will blow over where I'm sitting to help keep fresh air in my face and less smoke. And then up above me here, I have a Grizzly air filter that I'll turn on high and let that run for an hour, and that helps keep some of the smoke out. So here's my plan to try to get the laser paid off. Full sheet, 4x8 sheet of MDF with tax and California lumber fees runs $23.75. A can of lacquer is $7.54 with tax. The big ball of twine was $5.40 with tax. The Titebond gel super glue on Amazon was $15.07, and the thinner professional super glue, the thin super glue at Home Depot, was $8.08. So if I can get 18 sheets out of the MDF, so I'm just counting it as 18. I can probably get 20 to 22 lanterns out of it if I cut and mix and match, but I'm just going to call it 18. I can get about 8 of the lanterns sprayed with 3 coats of clear per can. The twine, I'm estimating I can get about 50 pieces out of it. And then the super glue, both the super glues, I'm estimating 50 units, which gives me a grand total of $2.83, that's what it's costing me in materials for the lanterns. I'm selling them for $25, which means I'll make a $22.17 profit on each. I bought the laser for $400, which means I need to sell at least 18 lanterns to break even to pay for the laser. And that's just my goal at this point. Let's get it paid off. If I can sell extra, that'll be great, and we'll go from there. So that is my estimated costs for the laser. So like I said, I got to sell 18 units to break even, which is doable. Right now it is September 28th, so I've got a month of selling. Last night I posted an ad on all my local buy-sell trade groups for my town, on I think five different ones. I've had a couple of people that have liked the pictures, but I'm waiting to get a sale, and hopefully we'll get it done. Keep an eye out in November, and I will shoot an update video and let you know how many I sold and how much money I made, and if I paid off the laser or not. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Always spray at least 2 coats. In this case with these, I like to spray 3 because people might put them outside.